is one of those Republicans, U.S. Congressman Pete Sessions from the state of Texas, Republican member of the House Oversight Committee. Congressman, thanks so much for taking the time.
Jim, thank you.
Powerful words there from Nancy Mace, a victim herself of sexual assault. And you have said to me that when you speak to women in your community and elsewhere, that there is a genuine drive and a desire for transparency here. You now have a bipartisan effort on the Hill. You yourself have pushed for a bipartisan effort. Why not vote for this one?
The procedure is something that's used by the minority, and that's okay. The essence behind this is simply releasing information. I believe that what James Comer and myself and my Democrat colleagues are engaged in is finding not data, but answers. And I believe that it will come forth through a process that we're very capable of. This is a Republican and Democrat issue. This is a men and women issue. And I think almost every single member of Congress is feeling some heat. And you have seen that, and that's why this push is moving rapidly. But what happened today is certainly a call to each of us that we have to get answers to. So we are starting back. We are knowing that each of these young women should detail who they think the people were who were involved with them.
Right.
There should be an accounting of this. We should come through this with an agreement that all the information's got to come back, including why was it hidden and who were those powerful people.
Sure.
I'm not happy until we get to the bottom of this. So there's a process, and it's being done by the committee on a bipartisan basis.
So you're suggesting that the House Oversight Committee would do its own investigation?
We are. We are doing that, and I'm a part of that as Chairman of Government Operations. We're looking for our signals where we will do additional inquiry.
Okay.
James Comer is doing a fine job, but make no mistake about it, we intend to be able to answer questions, not just say, well, we released the data, you go analyze it, you make. I should be required within a matter of time, I don't know whether it's weeks or months, to be able to answer the questions, look people right in the eye. I told you earlier, I'm an Eagle Scout. I am bound by having to tell the truth. Well, I want to know the truth too.
So when you hear President Trump there say today, and he said this before, that this is just a Democratic hoax, all these demands are a Democratic hoax, what's your response to that?
Well, I think he's in reference to the Ro Khanna and Tom Massey bill. This is it's still something that some could say pushed us to where we are, but it is entirely different than our investigation. It's a releasing of data and information. We're doing the actual information where we will be able to call witnesses. We've already called a number of witnesses, as you are aware. These witnesses have come forward and will come forward, and we will ask them and give them a chance to answer the question. That's not what Tom's bill does.
The thing is, when you hear the president say that and dismiss this as a hoax, it seems that he's dismissing the accounts of the women who were victims of this.
Few people actually have studied and see the information that we as congressmen have, especially when we work together. The abilities that we have, the talk shows that we're on, the ability to subpoena, the ability to understand things. This is a serious matter. We are talking about the lives of maybe 1,000 women. We are talking about, for 30 years, tapes, at least 3 different jurisdictional entities off our coast, in Florida, and in New York. We need to know who's hidden those for 30 years. And that is why we have the witnesses that we do lined up, including going back to President Obama, including going back to Trump 1, and including going to Biden. There have been people who have been, this just has not been important to them. It is now important. And I do respect Congressman Rokana, and I do understand what is going on here. We simply think we've got a better answer.
In the midst of this, to have senior Justice Department officials meeting with Epstein's convicted co-conspirator, Ghislaine Maxwell, is that proper? Do you have any? Should they be talking to her?
I think that who talked to her was the head of the Department of Justice, the criminal division of the United States Department of Justice. And I think it was, maybe I might have done it differently, but when you put someone that now puts themselves as a witness, which he did, he now has become firsthand knowledge to this, and he placed himself to where we could subpoena or ask him to come. So there's a couple questions that I would imply there. Number one, not is he the appropriate person, but does he realize he placed himself right in line with, and we will probably ask him questions too. And typically you send a frontline prosecutor, not the head of the department.
I want to, since I have you here, ask about another question that you've been quite public on, and that is the President's deployment of National Guard to cities, not just in D.C., but discussion now of Chicago, also New Orleans as well. You have said, you were asked about whether, for instance, if the President were to deploy National Guard troops to a city in the state of Texas, you said, well, that's up to the governor. We now have a situation in Illinois where you have an elected governor of the state, Democratic governor, saying, we don't need this now. We want federal cooperation with other agencies, but we don't need uniformed National Guard troops. Should a president be able to deploy National Guard troops over the objection of a sitting governor, in your view?
So what I think I have responded is that it would be fine with me if National Guard's troops came in my hometown of Waco, Texas, or the state of Texas. But what I have said is that I believe the experiences that Washington, D.C. is now going through, there was controversy about that, but that controversy has lent itself to some 11, 12, 13 days without a murder in Washington, D.C. There have been some 500 criminals that tormented police and made things more difficult for them. The laws of the District of Columbia allow a child, 13, 14, 15 years old, to commit a crime, steal a car, and not serve any time. So what's happened?
D.C. is different, as you know, because it's federally administered.
And that I agree with. So the question then came Chicago. And I said, look, I believe that the president, if he does gain that okay from the governor or from the mayor, I think it's great. But I hope...
If he doesn't? What if he doesn't?
Well, and I'll go to that. But I think that the results of this are to back up your officers, to let your officers do the frontline work, and they are constantly looking around because of criminal behavior at them. So I think that the instances soon will be to the advantage. And lastly, if I lived in Chicago, I would want to know that I lived in a safe territory. So I would hope that he would go in only if invited.
Congressman Pete Sessions, we appreciate you joining the program.
You bet, Joe.
Hope to have you back.